what I should write then?
3 times 5 times 2.
3 times 5 times 2. So when I look at this, 3 times 5, that part didn't change. That part is the base. Repeat after me. Base is the bottom.
Base is the bottom.
The base didn't change, so that makes sense. What about the 2? The 2 came from the what? The what?
Layers.
The 2 came from the what?
Layers.
Layers. Okay, so now we're going to start going a little bit faster. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and I'm going to change it, and I want you to make observations. Think about what's changing. Think about what's staying the same. So this is what we have. And this is the new thing that I made. Repeat after me. Base is the bottom.
Base is the bottom.
Let me show you the base. There's the base. So you can make observations about the base. I'm going to hold this up again. All right, share with your neighbor. What do you notice?
The base is the same, like the layers are different because he put another one, so he had one more layer, so there was 3 layers. But the base is the dimension of the base is still 3 times 5, so that's still the same. The area of the base is still 15, so that's still the same. The number of layers did not stay the same. Added one more layer. And the answer, I mean the volume, it like kind of like you had like 415. So like 30 plus 15 that's 45. So and the dimension of the prism would be 3 times 5 times 6. Yeah, so that's 15 times 3.
What things stayed the same? What stayed?
The thing that stayed the same was the dimension of the base.
So you're saying 3 times 5 stayed the same. Is there anything else that stayed the same? Is there anything else, Jeremiah?
The 2 layers.
Do I have 2 layers? Did the layer stay the same?
No.
No, that's good, that's good. It's an important observation to make. That's going to affect what we do on the rest. What else stays the same? So the base, repeat after me, base is the bottom.
Base is the bottom.
So if the dimensions of the base stayed the same, what else stays the same? Audrey? So the base stayed the same, right? So the dimensions 3 by 5, it's still 3 by 5. What other things did you notice? What else did you notice, Jonathan? You said the layers. What happened to the layers? Before I had 2, now I have 1. So that's a really important observation. I'm going to write that down. What other things did you notice? Isabel?
Base 2 equals 15.
What still equals 15? So when you say that, do you say I still have 15? You said the area of the base is still 15. So if I count the bottom, just the bottom, base is the bottom.
Base is the bottom.
We still have 15 for the area, so that stays the same. I noticed some people were thinking in their head how they could figure out what the volume is supposed to be. How do you think you could explain, Marco?
The volume is 45.
How'd you get that?
Plus 30 plus 15 equals 45.
So what you did, you took what we had before, and you know we're adding 15. So 30 plus 15, we got 45. One more thing. Dimensions of the prism. Notice what's changing, what's staying the same. You want to share, Valerie?
Wait.
The dimensions of the prism.
3 times 5 times 3.
So the base stays the same, and we have the 3 because we have how many layers, class?
3.
3. Okay, we're going to start going a little faster. So what I want you to start doing, some of us are starting to notice patterns. We're starting to predict what's going to come next. So when you're telling your neighbors your ideas, I want you to tell them how you know what's going to happen next. So this is what we have. This is our new thing. We're going to combine it. I'm going to let you look at it. Think about what's changing. Think about what's staying the same. Repeat after me. Base is the bottom.
Base is the bottom.
You can take it. You can look at the bottom. What's changing? What's staying the same?
Still adding up. Hi. Still adding up. With the amount? Still adding 15. And the volume changes.
Sorry, I don't want to.
Yeah. No, we already said it. But still, it's going to be the prism.
That's good. So the volume is increasing every time, right?
Still
So what do you think the
doubling.
volume is going to
Yeah.
be this time?
60.
How'd you get 60?
Plus 50 plus 45 equals 60 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15.
You two just said two different ways. You said 45 plus 15 and you said 30 plus 30. I think those are two interesting ways of getting the same answer. I'm not asking you guys to share out, okay? No, it's going to be good. It's a really good idea.
Equals equals 15 and then times 2. Oh, so that's all 15.
So what's changing? What's staying the same? You notice, look at all these hands. I don't know who to pick. I'm overwhelmed. Andre.
The area of the base is still.
The area of the base is still 15. I noticed a couple of people do the signal. They agree with you. So I'm going to go quickly through these. So the area of the base is still 15. What else did we notice? Come on. Uh-huh. The width. Mhm. So you notice the base, the dimensions haven't changed. It's still 3 by 5. That's a good observation. What else? So let's keep sharing. I want to hear from people who actually forgot. What'd you notice? What I like about what you said you're talking about before and then now, right? That's a very clear observation. Before we had 3 layers, now we have 4 layers. And let's see. I heard a really interesting conversation here about how we can find the volume. Hector, I want you to start out. How do you know what the volume is?
I know how the volume went because 45 plus 15, the other 5 with the 5 and the 40 will give you 10 plus the 110 and the 15, so it gets you 70.
So you took what we had before, 45, and then you added 15, right? So when we do 45, let's break it up. 45 plus 5.
That'll give you 60.
45 plus 5?
Yes. I mean 50.
So 45 plus 5 is 50, and then let's add the rest. So 50 plus 10?
50 plus 10. 65.
Close, let's try that again. Thank you. 50 plus 10 gives us 60. Now, Haiti shared it a different way. Haiti, how did you think about it? Instead of doing 45 plus 15, you did something else.
How I did it was that since we used to have like 30, we have 15 plus 15 equals to 30. And then once you added another 2 layers, it was another 15 plus 15, which equals to 30, and it equals to 60 altogether.
So I'm just looking for everyone's eyes because I want to show you what she's saying with these cubes. She said before, we used to have 30. So that was how many layers? 2 layers. But now we have how many?
Double.
Let's try again. How many layers do we have now?
4.
So what Haiti's thinking about doing, she's thinking about doubling, and we've been practicing that, right? Thinking about how we can double things. So now 30, when you double it, you get what?
60.
Okay, because we're running a little short on time, we're just gonna make one more observation. But before we do, I'm not gonna actually build it. Oh, last thing. I got ahead of myself. How can I write this? Let's see, I wanna look for people who haven't really heard from. Ben, haven't heard from you.
The dimensions of a prism is 3 times 5 times 4.
3 times 5 times
Yep.
4. And why'd you say 3 times 5 times 4?
Because the layers is the 4.
The layers are the 4, okay.
Yeah. And the 3 is the
You got this. What I really appreciate is that you're trying to use the vocabulary. So just use your words. Use the best words that you can. The 3 is what?
The 3 is the width.
Okay, sure. 3 is the width. So the length is what?
The 5.
5. So the length and the width of the base are 3 and 5. So that's why we put those in parentheses. So we're going to do one more, but before I actually build it, I want us to make predictions. If this pattern continues, what would be the dimensions of the base for the next one? If we keep doing the same thing, what's going to happen next, David?
You're gonna put 3 times 5.
3 times 3 by 5, 3 times 5. What's the area of the base going to be? If I keep doing the same thing, Jonathan. 15. If I keep doing the same thing, what are the layers? 5. If I keep doing the same thing, what's the volume going to be? Let's see, Joshua.
75.
75. If I keep doing the same thing, look at all these hands. You're noticing patterns. You're mathematicians. Do it. So, if I followed the pattern, these should be our observations. So let me show you what I wanted to do. This is what we had. This is what I want to do. Okay, repeat it after me. Base is the bottom.
Base to the bottom.
Let me show you the bottom. Here's the bottom. Look at the dimensions. What are the dimensions?
3 times 5.
So that prediction was correct. I want you to think about how we can find the area of this base. Is our prediction correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, that didn't change. Layers, how many layers?
5.
5, we have 5. So that prediction was correct. Before we had 60, I added 15, so this should be what?
75.
So that prediction makes sense. If I describe the dimensions, the base is still 3 by 5. We have how many layers?
5.
So you guys found patterns and you were able to make predictions, and that's awesome. So all of this work that we're doing, it's helping us get better at finding the volume of prisms, and it's helping us find faster and easier ways of doing math in our head. Did we do anything on paper?
No.
No? And that's my goal for you guys. Okay? So now what we're gonna do, let me check the time, because I wanna make sure you have enough time for everything else you need to do. 15 minutes? Okay, thank you. Okay, what I want you to do next, I want you to take out your math journal, and we're gonna do a very short problem suite.